It's 2025. The 120th Congress has started, and the Dash Act, a bill that includes money support and a $15,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit, could be back on the table for this year's housing market. Let's learn more. I'm Dan Green with homebuyer.com. My NMLS is 227607. Our lender NMLS 423065. We are part of Novus Home Mortgage, a division of Exonia Bank. You can read more about homebuyer.com in the video's description, including our lending coverage and very important disclaimers. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This channel is full of excellent homebuyer education, which of course is different from legal, tax, and financial advice, which you can find better somewhere else. I'm not a lawyer. This is a mortgage video. And when you're ready to check your eligibility to get your mortgage pre-approved, you can do that online in about 3 minutes for eligible buyers at homebuyer.com/fast. Now, this video is about the Dash Act. It's a housing bill that expired at the end of the last Congress, and that happened at January 3rd at noon, as outlined by the 28th Amendment to the Constitution. Now, the Dash Act, it's an acronym. DASH, it stands for Decent, Affordable, Safe Housing for All. And you remember us talking about the Dash Act before because it was first introduced 2 Congresses ago, where it died, as many bills do. But as it turns out, the Dash Act was only mostly dead. You see, there's a big difference between being mostly dead and all dead. Mostly dead means slightly alive. And the Dash Act was renewed 1 Congress ago. Its sponsor, Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, is still serving his state and our nation, which is why the Dash Act could be renewed for buyers again. And we'll talk about it here like it's already been introduced, and we'll discuss the benefits as we expect them to be written based on prior versions of the bill. But none of this should be taken as the bill is already passed, because it's not. This is a bill. Not all bills pass, and often bills change on the way to becoming law. The Dash Act, it's a big one. It's ambitious. Its author has referred to it as generational for its size and scope, with 20 plus parts to make housing more affordable, attainable, to expand homeownership opportunities. We've listed those 20 plus parts on the website. You can look them up there. That link is in the description. But here, we're going to explain the one part of the Dash Act that grabs the big headlines, and that's the first-time homebuyer tax credit, a $15,000 refund that brings the American dream of homeownership within reach for so many. And here's how that tax credit works. And by the way, you never need to apply for the Dash Act. It's processed through your tax returns according to the language of the bill, because it's a tax credit. It's not a mortgage program. So when you buy a home, to get your credit, all you would do is attest that you bought the house, show proof that you made a purchase using your settlement statement or something similar. So if your tax bill is $15,000, the Dash Act would give you $15,000 in tax credits up to that amount, and then your tax bill come April 15th becomes zero. It also means you can get a refund on your income tax bill if the credit exceeds what you owe to the IRS, up to $15,000 back to your bank account, depending on your specific tax situation. Now, not every first-time buyer will be Dash Act eligible. For one, you have to be a first-time home buyer. That's obvious, right? But the way that the Dash Act defines first-time buyer is different from how lenders and other first-time buyers define it. So define first-time home buyer. This is new in the Dash Act. A first-time buyer is any person who has never owned a home at any point in their life. It's a literal definition, and that is more strict than other programs that allow buyers to redeclare as first-time buyers after 36 months of renting. Also, to claim the credit, buyers must be at least 18 years old. They must not be claimed by anybody else as a dependent, and they must be buying their first home on the open market, so not from a friend or a relative or somebody that you know very well. Buyers must be buying the home as their main residence, as their primary home. And also, eligibility is limited to U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents. Again, this is all still most buyers, but it's still important. Now, the next eligibility checks of the Dash Act relate to the home itself. Again, most first-time buyers are going to sail through these requirements. The Dash Act states that the $15,000 credit only applies for homes that are sold within 110% of the conforming mortgage loan limit for the area in which you're buying, which means take your local conforming mortgage loan limit, which in most parts of the country is just over $806,000. Add 10% to that number, and you have your upper range limit, and it's like $887,000. If you buy a home for more than that, the amount of your tax credit gets diminished a little bit for each $10,000 over until your credit falls to zero. Again, most first-time buyers aren't buying homes for $887,000, so the Dash Act price really only affects a narrow band of U.S. home buyers. Same for the third Dash Act qualification, which is household income, because at its core, The Dash Act is a bill to promote affordable housing and homeownership for low to middle income households. So the Dash Act is only available to buyers who file taxes as singles and earn less than $100,000 per year. They file as singles with dependents and earn less than $150,000 per year, or if you're filing jointly with a spouse and earn less than $200,000 per year. Also, because people are sly when it comes to taxes, the $15,000 first-time buyer tax credit can't be claimed by either member of a married couple that files taxes separately. Too much potential for gaming the system. Now, the fourth Dash Act requirement is a gimme, and it's the requirement that first-time buyers move into the home they're buying and live there as their main residence. When you do that, you get the full first-time buyer credit up to the $15,000, but if you move out within the first 5 years of moving in, if you cease to make this home your main home, a prorated portion of your Dash Act credit must be repaid. For example, if you receive the full $15,000 credit and you move out after 1 year, your repayment would be $12,000 to the IRS. If you move after 2 years, you'd pay back 60%. After 3 years, it drops to 40%, and so on until 5 years have passed and nothing is owed back at all. The Dash Act is written like this because, remember, it's a bill for long-term home ownership, for Americans to build roots in communities and build wealth. It is not for home flippers, for example. But there are a few exceptions to the $15,000 pay it back if you move in 5 years rule. And those exceptions are if there's a death to your spouse or to you, if you're relocated for duty in the military, if you lose your job or have to move as part of a job relocation, if you fall ill and can't work or can't keep your job. All of these are exceptions to the 5-year Dash Act rule. No repayment is required if you meet one or more of these conditions. And that is the Dash Act. It was Senate Bill 680, House Bill 6970. It will get new bill numbers in the new 120th Congress should the bill be introduced. And if the bill should pass, the Dash Act would make homes for renters more affordable, more available, would give big tax credits to first-time buyers of homes, support affordable homeownership for everyone. I'm Dan with homebuyer.com. Remember, pre-approved buyers do better. Happy home buying.